So, John, in addition to being the world's most prolific Las Vegas investigator, you're now a freestyle rapper. How are you tonight, John?
Far from it, but I'm well, thank you. But no, I'm not a rapper. No.
Well, I think
Far from it.
you did a great job with your latest video on the John E. Hoover YouTube channel, and that's a place that people can go to see all of your videos. You've produced sort of a rap battle answer to the Marshall Mathers Eminem new song. What's it called? Darkness?
Correct. Yeah, Eminem dropped, I guess, an entire album a week ago today, give or take exactly, based on where you are on the international dateline. But I guess it had been dropped before you and I did our show a week ago.
Right.
And it hadn't hit my radar yet. And right after we finished our show, I was just kind of winding down and looking at what was going on. And lo and behold, I found the Eminem video.
And you've done you've done a really cool response. I mean, I was watching your video, and people can see that on the Johnny Hoover YouTube channel. We're going to be starting our sponsor exclusive show on patreon.com/IamJohnCullen and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. We're also both on Subscribestar right now, John, and some people have been telling me they're having a little bit of a better experience with Subscribestar. It's kind of a lighter interface, maybe a little bit less overhead. If people have an older computer, they might want to try subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen or subscribestar.com/crowdsource the truth. You know, John, social engineers have been viciously attacking Crowdsource the Truth. The main Crowdsource the Truth channel, the Jason Goodman YouTube channel, is totally incapacitated right now. It's hanging on by a thread from total deletion. And this comes on the heels of a social media announcement where one of the most malicious, gout-ridden, alleged fat slobs, that's not my words, that's an allegation from a Australian lawsuit against this guy, he put out a message on the live stream of somebody who is suing me, claiming #gay ops escalation. And I don't know if you're familiar with gay ops. It's got nothing to do with homosexuality, which is totally unrelated. It's the deliberate deplatforming, defamation, and harassment of somebody on social media. So to announce that on December 26th, and then for all these attacks to come to Crowdsource the Truth, I mean, I think it's pretty clear what's going on.
Again, you're in so many different crosshairs. I've said this to you before. I don't know how you walk around the streets of New York. I really don't. I'm only in a handful of crosshairs. You're in dozens and dozens and dozens. So
I try to stay on the move.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But it's scary stuff, man. No, they don't. You're doing the work, basically, that nobody in power wants done. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, there was an announcement.
You're doing the work that no one in power wants done.
Right.
Go ahead.
Dr. Corsi yesterday told us about a recent announcement that George Soros has a new $1 billion fund of some kind that's dedicated to stamping out hate speech online. And we did receive a strike on the Charlie Robinson video where we were investigating certain connections between certain billionaires and a certain attack in New York City that was dubbed hate speech. Now, my feeling is hate speech would have to be directed at a general group for their race, their religion, something hateful that is just a generalized, bigoted comment. When you make specific allegations against a specific individual that's based in public records and facts and things like that, I don't really think that could possibly be hate speech. But YouTube disagrees. But let's focus on your new video, because I really think this was a breakout for you. This is a major departure from what you've been doing in terms of the creative aspect of it. But of course, it's still focused on the Las Vegas shooting. So this was a really interesting response to the Marshall Mathers Eminem video, and people who haven't seen this yet really need to make their way over to the John E. Hoover YouTube channel. Let's listen to this for a second. I think you're not going to be able to hear it.
Oh, that's okay. I know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I need to speak to Slim. Is this him? The one? I mean Marshall, not Mathis. Are you sure you know what the facts is, son? What if you were fooled? What if you were punked by Lombardo, the sheriff? You stand on your soapbox all declarative. Benzodiazepines, believe your eyes, not the narrative. Don't start an epidemic of synthetic schizophrenics. Are you offended by my authentic, intensive hypothesis, or is it pretentious, horrendous, and pathetic? I've tormented your tremendous ego with my extensive forensics and genetics. Hey, M, I need to speak to Slim. Is this him? The one? I mean Marshall, not Mathis. I've not grown partial. You know what the facts is? You were lied to by Lombardo the sheriff. You stand on your soapbox all declarative. Benzodiazepines, believe your eyes, not the narrative. Are you sure you know what the facts is? Look for yourself. You see the window break. Your voice is needed to wake your fans to the truth, not your mistake. Hit the emergency brake. Stomachache, handshake. Now you're awake. Time to remake darkness. Sure, there's give and take, but the heartbreak of your namesake is suicide, not sponsored patricide. 60 people died while Lombardo lied curbside. Aaron Rouse filled with
So people can watch this full video on the John E. Hoover YouTube channel, but I have to say, John, you've done a tremendous job putting that together. I had no idea you had such great writing skills and rapping skills.
Well,
it's a good response to Eminem.
Yeah, well, I'm not rapping, so let's
Sounds like
be
it.
perfectly clear. I'm not rap. Well, it might sound like rap, but that's not what I'm doing. Does anybody remember Russell Simmons? Anybody remember Russell Simmons? Pretty big name, right?
Yeah.
He used to have a program, I think it was on HBO or Showtime, called Def Poetry Jam.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of think of this as more, I'm reading poetry, and then I just set it to the same damn song I used to start all the videos. So that's all I did.
Right.
And so yeah, to me that's not rapping. I just read what I wrote. So I wrote a bunch of stuff down and read it into the microphone, set it to the same music I start the videos with, and I didn't know I could write stuff like that. I never wrote rhymes or anything. So that was the first.
Well, it's very inspired, I have to say. And I mean, listen, your dedication to investigating the Las Vegas shooting, it comes through in that Def Poetry response to Marshall Mathers, Eminem. So for people who maybe haven't heard the Eminem song, what's it all about? What's his position? What's your response all about? And what are we going to be talking about later tonight when we begin our sponsor exclusive show on patreon.com/I am John Cullen and patreon.com/crowdsource the truth.
So I guess we're going to begin at the top of the hour. And that's when we go live for our patrons. And the plan is I want to break down Eminem's Darkness video. And, there's aspects of it that I certainly appreciate what he's doing. And there's, first of all, I think there's a couple things. There's like a mea culpa that I need to put on the table, right? And that is, some people were commenting about that this is a diss video. And this is not a diss video. I think the guy's a freaking genius, right? I think he's brilliant, and I have great respect for him. But I'm doing this in the vernacular, right? Just like you
in his
come
vernacular,
to Thailand,
you mean?
and well, I don't know if it's his or the vernacular of the moment, right? Is it just his?
Well, it's
Right?
kind of like a rap
So,
battle, right? Sorry,
well,
not a rap.
he is in
Freestyle.
well, no, I can't freestyle. He's forget it. He's the king. He's the king of freestyle.
Uh-huh.
And in the world of battle rap, I mean, he's the one. He's it. He's the guy.
Mhm.
So basically, what I did was I took his style, I took his timing, I took everything. I've been listening to the guy's music for 20 years, whatever, 20 plus years,
Hmm.
and just figured, if I can put some pretty cutting stuff in there that's kind of funny, and I can make these guys laugh, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
So don't mistake this as a diss. I have great respect for the guy. Look, everybody believes the narrative. That's what's on TV. That's what that's what everybody thinks.
So
There's
that's
a
his
handful of
video,
people
right?
that have been exposed.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen the original Eminem video of Darkness. He's basically saying that Paddock was shooting out of the window.
I mean, the essence, I think, this is what I took away from it. I'd be curious to hear if the audience has the same perspective that I did. Maybe, I don't know if we can go to the commentary. I guess your YouTube is down, so we're recording for YouTube or whatever. But my takeaway from this, and maybe, you know what, maybe you can go to my Johnny Hoover page and we can look at the comments there and get some
Sure.
feedback kind of in semi-real time. But my takeaway from the Darkness video, I think what Eminem Marshall Mathers is trying to say is, look, depression's intense. Alcoholism is real. It's a slippery slope. It's easy to get on pills, and you can get licensed guns pretty easily. And this could be anybody. This could be him. This could be me. This could be you. This could be anybody. And it's a slippery slope. And so I certainly appreciate his message. And I appreciate all types of different background checks and loophole stuff that needs to be closed when it comes to weapons. But at the end of the day, I don't think everybody fully understands why the founders felt that it was important for the people to have a well-armed militia.
Right.
And the things that you and I see, the things that that lead us to believe that in fact we're on the edge of tyranny. Not necessarily at the top of the organization, but tyranny has spread like a cancer. I think a lot of people have another name for it, and it's the deep state, right? And these are these people that think it's just absolutely perfectly okay to lie to the public because they're the same people who talk in terms of collateral damage.
You're talking about the FBI, you're talking about Joe Lombardo, etc. So I think we must have done something.
You're talking about all of them.
Yeah.
If the term collateral damage is in your vocabulary, they think lying to the public is acceptable behavior, and they just kind of look at the effort the FBI put into the report on the biggest shooting. 2.5 pages.
Yeah. It's not that much. So
That's it.
John, I think
Yeah,
I must have made some error
go
in
ahead.
programming the live stream for Johnny Hoover YouTube channel, because we're not live on there right now. And of course, the Jason Goodman YouTube channel is down. So we've got people watching us on Crowdsource the Truth 2 right now. And Spanman is saying that M needs an enema. And then people are saying Eminem is as deep state as Madonna. That's Cavalier telling us that. That's an interesting point. I mean, Tiffany Fitzhenry, who's appeared on this channel several times, has made a really distinct point of saying that it's her opinion that you're not really allowed to rise to the level of influence that somebody like Eminem or any of these huge celebrities have without that influence being controlled by somebody. That's possible. I don't know.
Well, here's what I'm counting on. Here's what I'm counting on. I'm counting on that there's someone out there that just says, Nobody controls me. Nobody's in charge of me. So you know where this is headed, but there's some people out there that are afraid of no one. No one, right?
Yeah.
Nobody scares them. They stop at nothing, right?
Right.
And what I'm hoping is that there's people out there, they're going to see this stuff and say, are you kidding me? This is what happened out there? And these guys, meaning you, me, Joe Napoli, all these independent researchers that have been working on this project for 2.5 years now.
Right.
These guys still think it came from the window, right? I mean, I look at Eminem, I look at Marshall Mathers, and I say, he wouldn't have made the video if he didn't think it came from the window, and you think Paddock did it. I don't think this is part of a cover-up. I think he believes it. Right. I think many, many, many people believe it. Guys, anybody who's listening to it, we're considered the kooks. We're considered the nutbags. We're crazy, right? We're the conspiracy theorists. We're in this little world of a couple thousand of us that know about this stuff, and the rest of the people are watching NBC and CBS and CNN and do not have a clue what is happening for real.
Well, that's just
so
it. That's the treacherous aspect of social engineering, John. I mean,
so this
Marshall
is why
Mathers watches
when
TV.
People say, right, so I look at it, and I'm one of these guys who gives everybody the benefit of the doubt until I get stabbed in the back, right? So if I see something, if I see explicit evidence to the contrary, I give Marshall Mathers the benefit of the doubt. This is not a diss video. I'm simply trying to meet him here. Let me give you guys a metaphor before we go to our private thing. I've been training in various martial arts my whole life, right? And if I'm training in Muay Thai in Thailand, and I'm in my dojo in Thailand doing Muay Thai, and Marshall Mathers shows up one day in my gym, right? And I've been doing Muay Thai, man, for, 18, 20 years, something like that, right? And Marshall Mathers, the real deal, the guy, actual frickin' Marshall Mathers, shows up in Thailand one day in my gym. Now, you think I'm going to hold back, or you think I'm going to knock him on the mat 10, 12 times, but then offer him a hand and pick him back up?
Yeah.
That's how it's done. That's what you do. We're men, right? I'm throwing down in his language, using his timing, using his phrasing, stealing his, no, not stealing, excuse me, not stealing his shit, but basically he's, what do you say? He has influenced what I've done, and I'm using his phrasing, his timing back at him like a, and I'm doing that to get his attention. Because he'll notice, like, this is musician shit that he's going to notice. That's what I mean by phrasing and stuff like that. So by taking the same kind of phrasings and timings that he's using and mirroring it back at him using this content, who knows, man. All I can tell you is when I saw his video from that moment, this was as close to the initial event for me personally as motivation. Meaning, I saw his video, I went immediately into overnight mode and worked, did an all-nighter, worked through to 5, 6 o'clock the next day, slept for 4 hours, got back up, took a shower, midnight till midnight the next night. So I've been going like a maniac all week.
That was amazing.
Once I saw him, well, the reason is, and the rationale for this is, he just brought this story that's almost 2.5 years old, back into the mainstream, news cycle, so to speak. Unfortunately, we've got an impeachment and Davos and all these other things happening at the same time, but at least there's some dialogue about the Vegas shooting. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful to Marshall Mathers. So,
well said. Yeah, it was amazing how quickly you brought that out, John. I mean, I saw it, and while I was watching it, I was like, wait a minute, is this John? doing the spoken word part? Because I never knew that you could write like that. And I know you're saying it's not rapping, but I mean, you know, it's you performing the lyrics there. So I was blown away, and also how quickly it came out. So for people who maybe haven't seen that, it's a great opportunity to go over to the John E. Hoover YouTube channel and check that out. We're going to be ending our preview here in just a moment and heading over to patreon.com/IamJohnCullen and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. We're also going to be simulcasting on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen and subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth. For people who don't want to support the show and join us over there, you can watch John's latest response to Marshall Mathers on his YouTube channel. It's totally free. There's a ton of material on Crowdsource the Truth that's also free. And all of the preview shows that John and I have been doing are up here. So people have a lot of material to go through. And I hope that will join us. And we're, as I said earlier at the top of the show, there's social engineers trying to shut both of us down. So the best way you can counteract that is to join us as sponsors on the Patreon and Subscribestar channels. You're going to get access to a huge and growing library of content. John, I think we're going to end it here and pick up in just under 10 minutes over there with the sponsor exclusive show.
Looking forward to it. We've got a lot to cover. A lot to cover.
Absolutely. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you there in just a few minutes.
Thanks a lot, everybody.